Sperm cells renew continuously. Egg cells have waited since before birth. Two completely different systems, taking orders from the same place, and it is not where you would expect. Welcome to CellFresco. We believe something very simple. Every cell has a healing food. Today we are following the instruction itself. From a cluster of cells in your brain, all the way down. Now the story. Nothing in reproduction happens on its own. A sperm cell is not made because the testes decided to make one. An egg cell is not released because the ovary chose that morning. Both are responding to an instruction that started somewhere else. It begins with a small group of hypothalamus neurons deep in your brain. These cells release a hormone called GnRH, and they do it in pulses. Not a steady stream, a rhythm. That rhythm is the whole signal. The pulses travel a short distance to your pituitary cells, which sit just underneath. Those pituitary cells read the rhythm and translate it, releasing two hormones into your bloodstream, LH and FSH. Those two hormones travel to the gonads. In men, LH reaches Leydig cells in the testes, which produce testosterone. In women, LH reaches theca cells in the ovaries, which produce the androgens that become estrogen. Same hormone, same instruction, two different cell types receiving it, and FSH travels to the cells doing the actual building. In men, to Sertoli cells, which nurse every developing sperm cell through its entire journey. In women, to granulosa cells, which surround and feed every developing egg cell. If those two names sound familiar, they are the cells the last two episodes were built around. This is where their instructions come from. This is the reproductive axis, brain, to pituitary, to gonads, and it is a chain, which means it is only as reliable as its weakest link. Problem 1. Your hypothalamus neurons are listening for one thing above all, whether there is enough. These cells are not only reproductive, they are metabolic sensors. They monitor whether your body has enough available energy to support reproduction at all, and when that signal says no, the pulses slow down or stop entirely. This is well documented. Sustained undereating, very high training loads, or rapid weight loss can suppress GnRH pulsing in both men and women. In women, this can stop cycles altogether. In men, it lowers testosterone, often quietly. The healing food. Oats. As a fiber-rich source of carbohydrate, oats can contribute to steady energy availability. Hypothalamus neurons respond to your overall energy status, not to any single food. To be accurate about what the evidence shows, the research here is about total energy availability rather than about oats specifically. No single food restarts a suppressed axis. What matters is eating enough, consistently, and carbohydrate appears to play a particular role in that signal. Your action: a proper breakfast built around oats most mornings, not skipped. Problem 2. Your pituitary cells are the relay, and they carry vitamin D receptors. The pituitary cells sitting under your hypothalamus have one job in this story: read the pulse. Release the right amount of LH and FSH. Vitamin D receptors have been identified on pituitary cells and also in the testes and ovaries. That is unusual. It means the same nutrient is present at multiple points along the same chain. Observational studies have linked lower vitamin D status with poorer reproductive outcomes in some populations, although supplementation trials have produced mixed results. The healing food. UV-exposed mushrooms. Mushrooms grown or treated under ultraviolet light are one of the few plant sources of vitamin D, the nutrient your pituitary cells carry receptors for, along with the Leydig cells and granulosa cells further down the chain. An honest caveat. Trials supplementing vitamin D have produced mixed results, and the clearest benefits appear in people who were deficient to begin with. This is a correction story, not an enhancement story. If you suspect you're low, that is a blood test conversation rather than a dietary one. Your action: UV-exposed mushrooms 2 or 3 times a week. Ordinary mushrooms contain very little vitamin D, so check the label for vitamin D enriched or UV exposed. Problem 3. Your Leydig cells and theca cells build hormones out of fat. Here is something most people never learn. Testosterone and estrogen are both built from cholesterol. Leydig cells in the testes and theca cells in the ovaries do the same fundamental job. They take cholesterol and convert it, step by step, into steroid hormones, which means the raw material matters. Research has associated very low-fat diets with modestly lower testosterone in men, and extreme fat restriction is not a neutral choice for either sex. The healing food. Avocado. Healthy dietary fats help support the cholesterol metabolism that Leydig cells and theca cells depend on to build steroid hormones. Worth being clear on scale. The effect sizes in this research are modest, and this is an argument against extreme restriction rather than an argument for eating more fat than you need. Your action. Half an avocado most days, or an equivalent source of unsaturated fat. The protocol? 3 foods, 3 signals, 1 chain better supported. Oats provides the steady energy availability hypothalamus neurons read as permission to run the cycle. UV exposed mushrooms supplies vitamin D, which pituitary cells, Leydig cells, and granulosa cells all carry receptors for. Avocado supports the cholesterol metabolism Leydig cells and theca cells rely on. What to eliminate, or at least reduce? Sustained undereating. The single most reliable way to suppress this entire chain. Hypothalamus neurons read low energy availability as a reason to slow reproduction down, and they do it in both sexes. Chronic heavy alcohol. Alcohol interferes at more than one point in this chain, affecting both hypothalamus neurons and the Leydig cells at the far end of it. Added sugar in excess. In women, chronically elevated insulin can increase androgen production by theca cells. In men, the route is different. Excess body fat increases aromatase activity, converting more testosterone into estrogen. CellFresco bonus. 1 extracellular signal. Today the bonus is stress. Cortisol does not simply sit alongside your reproductive hormones. It actively suppresses GnRH release from hypothalamus neurons. Under sustained stress, your body reads the environment as unsafe, and the reproductive axis is one of the first systems it turns down. This is not a call to relax on command. It is a reason to treat genuine stress reduction as a physiological input, not a luxury. The closing. You can eat perfectly for your sperm cells. You can support every follicle around every egg cell. But if the instruction never arrives properly, none of it starts. Oats are not simply breakfast. They are one way to support the steady energy availability your hypothalamus neurons monitor. Avocado is not simply a fat. Healthy fats support the cholesterol metabolism that Leydig cells and theca cells rely on to build reproductive hormones. This chain responds to conditions rather than to any single meal. And persistent cycle changes or symptoms of low testosterone deserve proper medical assessment rather than a dietary experiment. But it is a chain that listens. Every day. Food is a language. Every meal is a message. Every cell is listening. Every bite is a conversation with your cells. Every habit sends another cellular signal. Every day is another opportunity to change the conversation. Every cell has a healing food. If this episode changed how you understand that signal, subscribe to CellFresco. Next time on CellFresco, there's one factor that disrupts every part of this chain at once. Most people think it only affects blood sugar. It also changes the instructions this entire reproductive chain is trying to follow. Keep healing. Keep thriving.